The happy place, the happy place, the happy place. The happy place is right here because it is Saturday, June 1st. And here's another episode of You Have to Meet My Friends. And what the reason why I started these episodes is because I thought it would be funny when I said it to some of my friends. I said, look, I'm going to go live on the podcast like I am right now with every one of you. And I'm going to call my friends randomly and see if they answer. And then we're going to have a conversation. They're going to have no idea that I'm going to call them. So I'm excited because I've got a couple people in mind this morning. I've been scrolling through, and hopefully you'll be able to meet some amazing, amazing people. If not, they'll just hang up on me or they just won't answer. But that'll be okay. At some point, none of my friends are going to answer any of my calls because they'll be in fear of being on the podcast. But this is... You have to meet my friends, where I call my friends randomly. Let's get this party started.
Nothing more on my mind. I got two shines, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we believing. It's for certain, we put the work in. We ain't stopped just because it's hurting. Right before your eyes, so it's coming to no surprise. The takeover is televised. Over and over and over again. Make no mistake, we continue to win. Defeat never known, cause I will not lose. They wanna mimic my moves, but can't walk in my shoes.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the show. I threw my headphones on because we're going to be going through this. If you're just joining us, this is You Have to Meet My Friends, where I call my friends randomly while I'm live on the podcast and they have no idea. We're going to try our first person, and we are going to hope that we are going to get an answer here. Sometimes we get skunked, sometimes we don't. But in all ways, I get a chance to be able to smile, laugh, because I want you to meet my friends, who are some of the coolest people, I believe, in the world. This young lady that's coming on, hopefully she'll answer.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message.
Maybe she'll call us back. But let's do this one because I know this young man will answer. The first time we did an episode like this, I got skunked 7 times. And in getting skunked 7 times, I think it's a funny thing to go through, and the reality of it is probably where I have the most fun. Is I try and call people too, try and get people on the East Coast. That way they're awake a little bit longer than I am. But it seems like we're getting skunked on two, the first very 2. But that's okay. That's the second one. So let's go to this one. This one is one of the most random ones. I've been trying to get this guy for quite some time, and he has not answered my my call, but hopefully he will, because he's one of my best friends, and I just think you guys have to meet him. But he generally doesn't answer his phone, which is seeming like the thing today.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're
0 for 3 today. Let's try another one here. We're going to go. This one would be one of the most random. Well, I guess that doesn't even work anymore. Let's try that one. Oh my gosh. I think that some of my friends are figuring out that I am calling them and calling them randomly.
Hello?
Is this Uncle Sam?
Is this my nephew, Kelly?
It sure is, Uncle Sam. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing amazing.
Surprised.
Hey, let me ask you a random question. Would you be okay at some point being on the podcast?
Sure, why not?
You would?
As long as I don't have to travel to California.
Well, what if I told you were live right now on the podcast, Uncle Sam?
I don't know. I'm in my underwear.
So those of you listening right now, this is my Uncle Sam. This is a man who has given me so much wisdom and also give me the realities of life. Right now, you're in your drawers right now, Uncle Sam. Am I correct?
Well, yeah, I just woke up.
Where are you at in the world? Are you in Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Awesome. Probably one of my favorite times. Well, I have so many favorite times with you, Uncle Sam, because you taught me so many different things in life. But one of my favorite times was we were sitting at Aunt Kathy's house, and you told me never to lose it. And I was like, well, what do you mean lose it? And you said, never lose the light, never lose the smile. And you just kind of laughed and then just moved on. Why has it been so important for you, like to let like your nieces, nephews know not to take things so serious all the time?
Well, it's because I'm so serious all the time.
I think you're one of the funniest cats that I know. And my wife loves you more than you know too, right? You know that.
I guess.
I always try.
We rarely speak or interact.
But I tell you, when she gets a chance to be able to spend time with you, she absolutely loves you. I try and give people
Well, wait a minute.
What's that?
I keep getting Brooklyn and what's Robbie's wife's name?
Lisa
confused.
Well, Brooklyn has darker hair and has two kids that are Maddox and McKenna, and Brooklyn also has a more handsome husband than Lisa does.
Oh yeah, okay. Now that you straighten me out.
What has been the thing that has got you that has irked you lately?
My neighbor's dogs that bark all the time.
Have you told him about it?
Yeah. She says there's nothing that she can do. All she does is she lets them out about 6 o'clock in the morning, and they just bark incessantly. They're not barking at anything. They just bark, and it's not just woof, woof. It's
Hey, do you think I'm correct that other people's dogs, like people get used to their dog barking and it just becomes normal, but to us, it'll drive us absolutely nuts?
Well, I love dogs. I love animals. I won't even step on an ant, let alone, hurt a big animal, a cat or a dog, or in my neighborhood, raccoons or squirrels or quail.
Have you always been like that, Uncle Sam?
Absolutely. I have much more affection for animals than I do human beings.
Why is that, Uncle Sam?
Because human beings always have some kind of agenda, some way to either manipulate you or take your shit, or after 2 failed marriages and having to start over again when they take 50% of everything I own.
Uncle Sam, it inspires me. You and I got to chance to drive. I think we were driving from Tooele to another place, and you began to tell me about some of the things that you grew up in and you grew up around and that you saw, and it kind of forged you to be able to have this incredible resilience. Also, I think you have one of my favorite sense of humors that I've ever experienced. And can you kind of give us a little bit of a backstory for people to understand? Because when you hear the stories of I walked both ways uphill in the snow, then we kind of let them go. But when I heard some of your stories, things that you experienced as, growing up, I was like, sometimes I think that my situation, like, oh, wow, I really worked through this. But then when I heard yours, I was like, I haven't done nothing. I need to go get my butt to work. Can you give us a little bit background?
What do you mean you haven't done nothing? You had a wonderful mother and father who took care of everything you wanted. They always supported you and loved you, and and I miss both of them terribly.
Oh, man. What did my pop mean to you?
Oh, he was a little shit who always told on me.
So you were the older brother, and so talk to me about my pop, man.
I was the oldest one.
Uh-huh. So you took the whoopings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had to feed them, bathe them, cook for them, make sure they got on the bus, make sure that nobody was picking on them.
How many siblings in the family?
There was 8 altogether.
And you were the oldest?
No, Robert was the oldest, but he died when he was like 20 or 21, and I was 15 at the time.
So at 15 years old, you had to step in and be almost a father figure for a lot of the kids.
Well, yeah, because both your grandma and your grandpa worked, so they would leave the house at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning to go work at the Army Depot, and that meant I had to wake them up, feed them, make sure they brushed their teeth, made sure they got dressed, make sure we had to go 26 miles each way just to go to school.
26 miles?
Yep.
Where was this from? It was in a little town called Ophir, but explain Ophir, because until I actually went there, I didn't understand what it was.
Well, Ophir's an old mining town, and from the 1860s up till about 1972, they mined silver and lead up there, but there was a mining accident, cave-in 1972 that killed my best friend, Stanley.
Oh.
And after that, they closed the mines down. And, at the time, there was about 40 or 50 people living in Ophir. And hell, we made up 20% of the population with the 10 people in our family.
Now, did you guys have with 10 people, did you guys have this palatial estate resort up there?
Are you shitting me? We had this, it wasn't ramshackle, but it was just a tiny little wooden frame house that had, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms. And the girls all slept in one room, the boys, me, and your dad and Uncle Lou slept in one bed. And, it was heated by wood and coal. We had an outhouse. We had to cross the bridge just to go to the bathroom.
How about
in the middle of winter?
How about did you guys have hot running water?
Well, we had a water heater, but there were no toilet facilities. We had running water, but it was pretty primitive.
And you're not it's not like we're talking Little House on the Prairie times either, right, Uncle Sam? This wasn't that long ago electricity was there, running water was there, indoor plumbing was there. It's just you guys didn't have it.
Yeah, we didn't have like a tub or a toilet or anything like that. There was a creek right behind our house, about 10 feet from the back of the house.
Uh-huh.
And it was down a pretty steep ravine, and we had a bridge over the creek, and we had to, when we went to the bathroom, we had to go out of the back of the house, cross the bridge, and go in the old outhouse.
Talk to me about work ethic, because I like seeing yourself, seeing Uncle Lou, seeing my dad. It's some of the greatest examples of work ethic that, I'm very, very, very fortunate. I didn't, I'm glad that you had to go through it, because I didn't have to go through it, Uncle Sam. But where did your work ethic come from, and resilience?
Well, I haven't seen any work ethic stronger than you in Brooklyn, the stuff that you put together.
I thank you for that, Uncle Sam.
Are you kidding me? You've been successful in everything you've tried, and I think it had a lot to do with your dad. Your dad was driven by that, and I didn't have that same drive.
Where do you think
I'm an old hippie. Money doesn't mean anything to me.
where do you think the drive comes from? And where, like, growing up in a similar family, how does one become, you know, you're like, you were talking about the driven part. One, you called yourself a hippie. You are a hardworking man. And I mean, you have inspired me in so many different ways, Uncle Sam. That's unbelievable. But how does that happen in the same household where there's such different personalities?
Well, you know, we're all individuals. I mean, we have different things that motivate us, inspire us, and you know, you and your dad and your mom had your faith, and Dolores and Pio still hang on to that. I was never much of a religious person. I live a pretty secular life. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Why was music such a big thing for you? That was a big thing that you impressed on me. And I remember you making me a mixtape. We came right after we graduated. I graduated from hair school. We were on our way to Memphis. In
the Carmen Gia?
Yeah, we came out in the Carmen Gia. You remember? And you made us a mixtape. And you had, I mean, your musical taste, Uncle Sam, is unreal. Where did that part come from?
Well, just being a frustrated musician, I've always wanted. I don't know how to read music. I don't know. I have two electric guitars and one acoustic guitar, and the only song I can play is "Smoke on the Water." But I always loved the bands especially from the mid '70s through the late '70s. Boz Scaggs, Earth, Wind and Fire, Bob Seger.
What's the greatest concert you've ever been to?
Neil Young.
Where at?
In San Diego, back 1970, 71, 72, something like that.
Uncle Sam, if you got to get all the nieces and nephews together, right? And then the great nieces and nephews, right? So their children, you got to sit them down. They were going to listen to you, and then they were going to apply, because that's the first thing. Remember when we sat in at Stan's house and we were talking about kind of new school, old school things, and we had some new school kids there, and they were like, you old people don't know what you're talking about, right? But if they were sitting and they would actually listen and then they would apply, what would you tell them all about this life, about living right now based off the wisdom that you have and the experience that you have?
I'd just tell them to go their own way. It doesn't matter what I think or what I feel. I can impart my opinions to them, but that doesn't mean diddly squat. I mean, young people are going to do what they want to do. Old people do what they want to do. People in general just do what the hell they want to do. Going back to that work ethic,
yeah,
I never saw a guy that completely rebuilt and rediscovered himself like your dad did. Mm. He'd be over here one day working on this, and next time I saw him, he was working on something else, and he was always making money. And I don't know how he did it. Your dad was the penultimate bullshitter. He could talk people into doing stuff that they didn't want to do.
What do I not know about my pop?
That he was, well, you probably know this, that he loved you and Robbie with all his heart. You're going to make me cry.
What do you wish people knew about him?
Just what a good man he was. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. When I talk about him, Uncle Sam, um, you're gonna make me cry too. Uh, when I talk about him and my mom, people sometimes have told me that they tune out because they think that our life was perfect, and they can't relate to that. And I try and tell them that I remember the good things, that there was challenges, but they sometimes will tune out and say, "Oh well, I didn't have that, almost beaver cleaver upbringing." Can you shine some light on the fact that um, that we didn't?
Well, I know that in my family, people don't understand that your mother was a driving force too. Despite, having to be a 15 or 16-year-old bride and having kids at an early age and moving to England without any family or, I always loved your aunt. Everybody still refers to her as Aunt Jackie. But she was like my little sister. She was, your mom was a force of nature.
Why do you feel that way?
Well, she was she was strong. She fought to keep her family together. She supported you guys in any way possible. And even when there were bad times, she always made them good times. Are we really doing this live?
It's happening right now. Yeah. It's
everybody's gonna see what a slobbering, emotional Uncle Sam you have.
Everybody loves Uncle Sam. Everybody that gets to meet Uncle Sam loves Uncle Sam. Being the big brother, when you were talking about my pops being, you referred to him as a little shit. What were some of the things that what are some of the stories that maybe we, the nieces, the nephews, that we don't know about, some of the fun times that you guys went through? And my pops would always tell me that you guys dodged bullets, and that you guys lived through things that most people, it would have been very easy for it to go another way.
Well, I don't know about that. We had pretty standard, I don't know. We were taught to work hard. Living up in Oprah, we used to have to, during the spring and summer months, we would spend all our time working in the orchard down in Utah County and picking fruit just to make enough money to make it through the winter. And your grandma would can everything. I mean, everything. We all worked hard, except for the kids.
Who didn't work hard?
They spent all their time playing in the orchard. I had to actually pick fruit.
What do I not know about my grandfather?
It's really hard to explain because I think, always resented the fact that I wasn't his. He could be caring at sometimes, but other times he doted on his own kids, starting with Aunt Kathy, Lou, all the way down Tom, Anita, Marguerite, Dolores, blah, blah, blah. And I was always the driving force that had to go chop wood to last for the whole winter. I'm the one that had to. I mean, I'm not feeling sorry for myself or anything.
No.
I think that's part of my character, and I don't resent it. It's made me what I am. Well, in some ways, I resent it because I'm not too happy about the way I am. I wish I could be more tolerant, less opinionated.
What do you find yourself the most opinionated about now, Uncle Sam?
Politics.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Does it keep you up late at night?
No. I've lived through Eisenhower, Kennedy, Nixon. Nixon started the whole downfall, I think, of our country. All of these right-wing crazy bastards Reagan was the worst. And then we got somebody that made Reagan look like a saint. Trump. Jesus, what a bag of garbage that guy is. The people that have money that have money just love him, and then there are these rednecks who love him when he has no affection for them whatsoever. He thinks they're scum. But I don't know. That's about all I have to say on that.
Well, someone said the other day, they said, we don't have politics in San Diego. We just have the decision to choose between red sauce and green sauce. Why'd you move to San Diego? Why'd you move to San Diego in the first place? From Utah, and then you moved to San Diego. Why was that, Uncle Sam? You started this whole thing.
Well, in my senior year of high school, me and a group of friends decided not to go to school anymore. We would go to the mill pond in Stansbury or up the canyon and just hang out and drink beers. And I got busted for truancy with two other guys, Kurt Yates and John McNichol. And we got picked up and went to juvenile court. And Kurt Yates and Johnny McNichol, being white boys, you got to understand, this is 1963. They got a slap on the wrist. The juvenile court judge said that I either had to go 6 months at the reformatory in Ogden or join the military. So I joined the Navy. 4 years of service for slough in school.
Wow.
But that was the racism bullshit that went on back in the 50s and 60s. Even in Utah, in Twilla, back in those days, Hispanics weren't allowed to buy real estate in Twilla County.
What year was that?
Oh, all the way from after the war ended. 45, all up till about the 70s, people that had Hispanic names were only allowed to live in an area called Tortilla Flats. And even then, they couldn't buy the property. They just had to rent.
Really?
And, we lived in Ophir, and we had to ride the bus to school from Ophir to Twilla every day. But
how far is that? That's 26 miles.
Yeah, 52 mile round trip every day. even in the middle of winter when the bus could barely make it up the canyon because of all the snow and ice. A lot of times they parked the bus at the bottom of the canyon and we had to hoof it up the canyon to go get home.
And how far was that up the canyon?
About 4, maybe 5 miles. But don't get me wrong, I loved growing up in Ophir.
Yeah.
There was no radio, no TV. I told my daughter Stephanie when I was a little boy, when we played cowboys and Indians, we rode real horses and carried real guns. And I was always the Indian. It was a charmed life. It was tough, but you know, it's not tough like. I mean, we had plenty of food on the table. We had good times together as a family.
Uh-huh.
The kids, not my stepdad and my mom, because they were all stressed out from having to work so damn hard.
Well, having to feed 8 kids, you know, I mean, that's a ton. What did you guys eat? What was normal dinner or lunch or breakfast?
Oh, we had a pretty diverse menu. It wasn't like we just ate fried potatoes and beans and tortillas every day. Tortillas were a staple, and nobody could cook beans like your grandma.
Oh my gosh, I could smell them right now, and the tortillas. I still haven't had tortillas like grandma's.
Let me tell you a little story real quick.
Yeah.
I remember kids. We were coming back up the canyon in the bus, right, from school. And the bus would park right there where the post office and the jail was. And we lived down the hill from there. And your grandma would be making either tortillas or baking bread, and the smell would waft all the way up the canyon. And all these kids, oh, can we go to your house and have some fresh tortillas? All the little white kids. And, you know, of course, your grandma would give them a hot tortilla slathered with butter and honey on it. Mm. Everybody would be, because, you know, none of the other families made tortillas. They were all eating Wonder Bread, you know. Yeah, it was a good life. And in my life, the only regret I have is I wish I could have been a better man.
How so?
I don't know how many failed relationships I've been through with women, but there's a couple I wish I could have hung on to. The only one I didn't want to hang on to was your Aunt Paula.
What do you think it was in you that when you say, I think you're a good man, my wife thinks you're a good man, everyone who, cousin Jeremy and I talk all the time, and we're always just talking about how much we love you. When you say that, like, what part of you would you have wanted to, be better at?
Well, looking back in life, I can't even remember telling any woman I was with that I loved them. I mean, there was always, the simple affections like holding hands, kissing, of course, sex, but I don't ever remember just looking over at whoever I was with and saying, I really love you. And that's a deficiency that I have to this day. I can tell my family that I love them. I love you. I love Jer. I love Aunt Dolores. I love them. Out of all of you, I love Robbie the most.
I was just going to ask, but you said it right off the bat. Oh man. Okay. We all need to start working. All the cousins and nieces. We got to start working hard.
I always saw Robbie as being, you were the outgoing, cute one, and Robbie was always the more stoic, more serious one.
Yep. That's it. That's
isn't
Rob.
Isn't that right, Lamb Lips?
It definitely is, man. It definitely is. Hey, help me to paint a picture.
I was just kidding about loving Robbie the most.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't, Uncle Sam. I
respect and admire Robbie a lot, but I respect and admire all of you. I mean, I don't care whether it's Stanley working for 7-Eleven or Jer being a diesel mechanic or, you know. And I forgot Brian and Josh. They're both just spectacular nephews.
Yeah.
And my nieces too.
Well, we love you. I mean, Uncle Sam, you're a force of nature, man. I mean, it is so much fun to hang with you because I always knew that I wasn't going to get any fluff. I wasn't going to get any of that. I was going to get real, and I was going to get real from you all the time, which I think is it's just so admirable. I think that that's the reason why you and Brooklyn connect so well, and why she loves you so much is because she loves the reality of you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't pull punches.
Well, that's a big character flaw I have. I always say what I'm thinking.
I think that's a great thing.
No, I've ruined a lot of friendships and relationships by telling them what I think.
Hey, Uncle Sam, I've tried to explain. I mean, I tried to fathom it first, and I really can't ever explain it. Tell us about what it was like to grow up in the area that you did, Tooele, Utah, Ophir, Utah, like around that area, being Mexican.
You know, when I was in elementary school, the kids, my name being Sam, of course, their favorite nickname for me was Little Black Sambo, right?
Really?
And I had no idea what the hell they were talking about because there were no black people in Tooele. And, you know, you get to see black people on television occasionally, but we didn't even have a TV. So when you got to see them, you know, it was always some kind of almost like an alien experience. You know, you see, I mean, we didn't have Asians, we didn't have Polynesians, we didn't have black people. I mean, it was just a smattering of Hispanics and 99% white people, and racism was pretty, I mean, it was pretty pervasive back in the 50s and 60s.
Uh-huh.
And then we had this man called Martin Luther King that came along and changed people's perspectives on the outside, but on the inside, they still had those same prejudices. And I remember going in the Navy when we landed in San Diego. When we got off the plane and we walked out to the bus that would take us to the Navy Training Center, I saw my very first grown black man. Remember back in those days, they had porters that would greet you at the curb and take your bags. Yeah, I saw two black guys. And then when we got right into the Naval Training Center itself, I found out the majority of people in my platoon, my recruit platoon, were black from Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, places I didn't even know existed. And they were all different than me. They spoke differently than me. They certainly looked differently than me. But they were great. I mean, I really thrived in boot camp. It was I think the experience that changed my life. being exposed to a wide range of different people with different life experiences, and it turned me into a goddamn liberal.
Well, how important do you think that is for people to experience? Because I got a chance to talk to a bunch of military veterans, and as I talked to them, I said, you guys have a superpower that sometimes you don't realize, and that's the fact that you're around all different cultures and that you are forced to communicate with people from all over the world and different, upbringings, things like that. And that gives you a superpower that you literally can go into any environment and be okay.
I don't know about that. I went in the Navy, like I said, in 1963, and I got out in 1967. But during that whole period of time I served in active duty, there was a bullshit thing going on at the time called the war in Vietnam. And working in a medical unit at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot, we were processing 1,000 Marine recruits a day. And as soon as these guys got out of boot camp and went to FMF training up at Camp Pendleton, they'd get shipped off to Vietnam. You had a bunch of 17 and 18-year-old kids that were scared to death, that were just getting killed by the hundreds every day. It was a dark period in my life.
How'd you recover from it?
I don't know that I ever did. I just don't understand this whole concept of it. Well, I understand it. I just don't accept it. This whole concept of war and killing each other because of our skin color or our religions, or I don't get it.
Uncle Sam, what would be the perfect day for you now?
To get laid.
I love you, Uncle Sam.
See what I mean about opening my mouth before my brain kicks in?
This is why I love you, Uncle Sam. You are incredible. Hey, do me a favor. What message do you want to send to all your brothers and sisters right now?
Well,
what do they not hear enough from Uncle Sam?
I don't know if they understand the depth of how much I love them. And I miss them terribly. But I do have Jared and Stan.
I tell you, we love you. What about your nieces and nephews?
Well, I love them all the same. I mean,
except Rob, you love him more, Uncle Sam. You already established that. You already established that you love Rob. If you're out there listening, Uncle Sam loves you the most, man. You won the contest. We've all been working our whole lives to make Uncle Sam proud, and you know what? You won the prize, cousin Rob. You won it.
Don't twist my words around. You know, I just admired Robbie, and I mean, being a quarterback in high school, and I remember going to the CIF playoffs. We went all the way from Utah to Santa Ana just to watch him play football.
Yeah.
And then how both of you, succeeded in high school, and then moving to Memphis and everything, and Robbie going to school and making it through law school, and all the success that you had. I brag about you guys all the time. I brag more about you than I do Robbie.
Take that, Rob. Take that.
Yeah, I still have all my Kelly Cardenas Salon T-shirts, and well, you were there that day that I went to breakfast with a group of people, and I was wearing a Kelly Cardenas Salon shirt, and this lady walks up to me. She goes, "Where did you get that shirt?" And I go, "Well, that's my nephew's shirt." She goes, Kelly's your nephew?" And I went, "Yeah." And she goes, "Well, we're friends with Kelly." And she called you right there at that moment. And let you know.
They were more excited to meet Uncle Sam, as everyone is when they come into your presence, Uncle Sam.
And I remember going to the grocery store, again wearing a Kelly Cardenas Salon shirt. And this just dazzling, knockout young woman comes up to me, just beautiful girl. And she goes, "Oh, I love your shirt." And I go, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm a hairdresser, and I've been to Kelly's, those things that you do when you go out and train people and that."
Yeah.
She goes, "I just love Kelly." And I go, "Well, there's two of us then."
Did you get her number, Uncle Sam, or what?
Give me a break. I'm in my late 70s and she's 19, 20 years old. You're going to think I'm some old pervert.
I'm trying to help you out here, Uncle Sam. I'm trying to, that the shirts, they could attract. You got to close the deal though, man. You got to throw the number out there. You got to shoot your shot.
You got to send me another shirt because my 3 Kelly Cardenas T-shirts are all frayed.
Okay. Well, I'll send you one of the new Vibe ones, which will be cool. And then
it has to be a large.
It has to be a large because the guns are so big.
Are you kidding me? I used to weigh 190 pounds. I weigh 175 now.
Man, you're making me feel bad about myself. I'm not going down. I'm going up.
Yeah, just accept it and love it. There's more of you to love now.
Hey, Uncle Sam, would you do me the favor? And I'm going to ask you in front of a lot of people, so you have to say yes. I've got an event, which is on July 23rd. It's there in Salt Lake City. It's called the Vibe Room. It's a live version of the podcast. And we're going to have music. You love music. We're going to have musical artists there. I'm going to do some interviews there. And would you come out so some of the people that are listening right now could meet Uncle Sam?
Does that mean I have to take a shower and shave?
You don't have to shave. You got to shower though, man. You got to shower before you come because, I'm going to try and help you to have your perfect day.
Yeah, I could do that.
That sounds good.
I'm not very comfortable in front of large groups of people. I mean, the only time I've been around large groups of people is when I was president of the Postal Workers Union here in Salt Lake. And I'm not much of a public speaker.
Well, I'm just saying, come be my guest, be in the audience. I just think it'll be really, really cool. Cousin Jeremy's coming out. We're going to try and get Stanley to come out too. And
do you know what Jared got me for my 78th birthday?
What's that?
July 29th. He got us tickets to go see Neil Young in Salt Lake City.
Oh my gosh.
Neil Young with his original band, Crazy Horse.
Wow. That's the perfect day right there.
Yep. Just a few days after you do your podcast or whatever you do.
Okay. So this is gonna be a good week for Uncle Sam then.
Oh, absolutely. If I make it till then.
Uncle Sam, I love you so much, my man. I'm gonna.
Love you too.
Well, I want you to know. I mean, you're such an inspiration. I carry with me so many stories, and that are so near and dear to my heart, and so many lessons. I remember that time, when I was telling you when we first began, when we were at Aunt Kathy's house, and I was sitting on the floor, and you were sitting in the recliner. You made me sit on the floor, so you took the chair. I just want to tell you, I'm still hurt from that part. But you were sitting on the super comfortable chair, and I was sitting on the ground suffering. And you just said to me, "Don't lose it." And I said, "What are you talking about, Uncle Sam?" And you said, "The light." He said, "Don't ever lose the light. Don't ever lose being a kid. Keep the smile and keep the light." And that has been a driving force when there hasn't been much light. And I want to thank you for that.
Well, anybody that knows Kelly Cardenas knows he has the best smile around.
I thank you, man. I thank you. I love you, Uncle Sam. I'm going to let you get back to your Saturday, but thank you for answering the phone, and thank you for being such a good sport, and being on the podcast. I appreciate you. It means the world to me, and it helped me to realize that I don't call you enough. I don't tell you that I love you enough, and I want to spend more time with you.
Well, you certainly caught me off guard.
Are you still in your underwear, or did you put on pants?
I'm not going to put on pants. It's Saturday. I'm kicking back. I'm gonna get the Cutlass out today and go for a cruise. And
in your underwear?
If I feel like it.
Uncle Sam, you're awesome.
I'm much more inhibited and reserved than that.
Well, I love you. I love you a ton. I can't wait to see you. We're going to be there in July, and in the whole month of July in Salt Lake. So.
Well, I'm going to be in San Diego in June, so.
Okay.
Maybe we'll give you a call and see if you still live up in Carlsbad, right?
Yeah, I'm in Carlsbad. So absolutely, when you're here, I'll come down. Are you staying with Uncle Lou, or are you staying with Aunt Pio, or where are you at?
I'll probably stay with Uncle Jim and Aunt Pio because, that's the focal point where everybody meets.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the way Aunt Kathy and Uncle Chuck's was.
Yeah.
That was where everybody met.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to it. I look forward to spending some time.
Okay, and before I leave, just make sure that you keep your mom and dad in your heart.
Always.
I'll let you go.
I love you, Uncle Sam. And to all the nieces and nephews out there, I just want to let you know, Uncle Sam loves Cousin Rob the most. So just to let you know on that, we'll finish on that note. Uncle Sam, we all love you, and we're vying for your attention now.
Okay, young man. I love you too.
Love you, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Unbelievable, guys. That was my Uncle Sam. Wow. I don't ever know the twists and turns that these episodes are going to have, but that was a incredible episode of You Have to Meet My Friends, where I call my friends randomly. They have no idea. Uncle Sam was in his drawers, and he still had the conversation. So hopefully you had a great time. I had a great time here. We'll continue to do this. Make sure that you share it with your friends, and comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. We're gonna have the Vibe Room, which is July 23rd. It's at the Edison House in Salt Lake City, and if you're lucky and you come, you'll get to meet Uncle Sam. My name is Kelly Cardenas. This has been You Have to Meet My Friends, and I'm officially off the hot seat. Peace, love, and soul.
Nothing more on my mind. I got to shine, so every day I grind. Work in the morning, work in the evening. We's achieving, cause we